the gift of word of knowledge, which is the ability to foretell things of the past and the present, knowledge about things that are hidden. Nobody despises the gift of word of wisdom. Some despise the gift of prophecy, which is the ability to tell of the future. Many people despise it, but it's a gift from the Holy Spirit. Many people despise the gift of healing. They don't believe in healing. Some despise the gift of working of miracles. Some despise our gift of faith. Some despise, this one is even worse. Some despise the gift of speaking in tongues. They don't believe in the speaking of tongues. Not at all. But how are you despising that which is a gift from the Holy Spirit? And whereas you are saying you believe in the Holy Spirit as well. So how can you despise that? It's a gift from the Holy Spirit. Just because you do not operate in that gift does not mean that it's not a gift from the Holy Spirit. Just because if you believe in the gift of healing and say you don't believe in the gift of tongues, you have a problem. Because that same gift that you believe in is coming from the same person which has released the gift that you don't believe in. Just because you don't operate in it does not mean it's from God. So many people have problems just because they don't operate in these gifts. And watch this. The gift of speaking in tongues is just a gift. All right? There are 8 other gifts on top of that. So it is possible for someone not to have the ability to speak in tongues because it's a gift. You can have the gift of miracles but not the gift of tongues. You can have the gift of faith but not the gift of tongues. Although Paul said, I wish that all of you could speak in tongues. There was a reason why Paul wished that everybody could speak in tongues, because it's so supernatural. It's so powerful. There's another book that I once read a couple of years ago, which was saying that if you speak in tongues for 30 minutes each and every day, you are actually canceling, subduing. You are taking away power from your flesh. He said, if you speak in tongues for 1 hour a day, you actually become more spiritual. You actually allowing your body to access more into the spiritual realm. Maybe you should try this, because I tried it myself. Okay, it's not something that's there in the Bible that the more you speak in tongues, the more. But I actually tried. I actually pushed myself to speak in tongues for about 30 minutes, in tongues for like 1 hour. Trust me, it does so much to your spiritual life. It actually does so much to your spiritual life. You actually begin to see things. You begin to travel in the spirit. You begin to access places in the realm of the spirit that you thought never existed because of the ability of speaking in tongues. Because what are you doing? You are uttering mysteries. You are revealing secret truths. So speaking in tongues is really, really exciting. Even if you don't have the gift of tongues, it's still fine. Doesn't mean that you won't be able to access it. But that's one gift that's so supernatural. It's so powerful. That's why I encourage people in church to speak in tongues. You cannot compare speaking in tongues for 5 minutes and speaking in your own knowledge for 5 minutes. You cannot begin to compare that. The power is completely different. The anointing that flows is so different. Trust me, you cannot compare these two things. All right? Because speaking in tongues, it carries a supernatural power in it that can bring about change in your life just like that. So I encourage everybody as well to actually speak in tongues. So it's interpretation, right? There's a gift of speaking in tongues, then there's a gift of interpreting tongues. But we don't interpret every gift. We don't interpret every tongue. Tongues of men, unknown tongues. What do